Okay, so you know the start of the Bible, right? The whole creation story. God makes stars, oceans, animals, humans. It's this epic world-building saga. But then the story takes this super weird turn at the very end. God, this all-powerful being, takes a day off. Like, why? Was God just tired? Let's figure this out.
All right, so let's just dive right in, because honestly, from the get-go, we've got a major problem. This whole idea of God getting tired, it doesn't make any sense.
No, I'm serious. Think about it. We're talking about a being that can, just think entire galaxies into existence. So the idea that this same being would need to, take a nap afterwards, it's a total paradox. It just doesn't track at all.
So this is where it gets really weird, right? On one hand, you've got this infinite, cosmic power that creates universes, and on the other hand, needing a break? That sounds superhuman. It's kind of like comparing a quantum computer that can solve impossible problems in a second to, I don't know, your phone when it's on 1% and flashing that low battery warning. They just don't belong in the same sentence.
And let's just try to wrap our heads around the scale we're talking about. If our whole planet, everything we know, is like one tiny speck of dust floating in a football stadium the size of the entire universe, then for a being that powerful, creating Earth would be less than a snap of the fingers. It would take zero effort. So the question remains, and it's even more confusing now, why the break?
But wait, it gets even weirder. The mystery doesn't just stop with God being tired. There's actually something else going on in the story. You see this clear pattern forming, and then, all of a sudden, there's a glitch.
So if you look at the first 6 days, it's totally like leveling up in a video game, right? Day 1, you get the basics, light and dark. Then sky and sea. Then land, plants. You're just building and building, getting more complex each day. And then you get to day 6, which is basically the final boss level, all the cool animals, and finally us. There's this super clear pattern of things getting bigger and better.
So logically, you think day 7 would be the ultimate creation, right? The grand finale, the most amazing thing yet. But instead, we get a blank, nothing. The pattern just stops. The forward momentum hits a wall. So what gives?
Well, it turns out some ancient Jewish scholars were just as confused by this as we are, and they came up with an answer that is a total plot twist. Seriously, this changes the entire story.
Okay, get ready for this. On the 7th day, God created rest. Just let that sink in for a second. God didn't just stop creating. The final act of creation was creating rest itself. It wasn't the absence of work, it was the final, most important piece of the whole puzzle.
So what this means is that rest isn't just, what you do when you're done with homework. In this story, rest is an actual thing. It's a creation. It's as real and as fundamental to the universe as light, or water, or gravity. The world was literally incomplete without it.
Okay, so if rest is this thing that was created, what does that even mean? Because let's be real, it's not just about collapsing on your bed and doom scrolling on TikTok for 5 hours.
Think about it like this. Your phone goes into low power mode when it's about to die, right? It's a sign of weakness, of being drained. But this God rest is the total opposite. It's not a break from being active because of exhaustion. It's a deliberate choice to enter a state of just being. It's about letting go of control and just letting the universe chill for a minute.
And the text is super clear on this point later on. It literally says God grows neither weary nor faint. So this has zero to do with being physically tired. This kind of rest is way deeper than just, recharging your batteries.
So, what exactly is this state of rest then? This is where the idea gets even cooler, because it actually connects to the fundamental nature of existence itself.
So check this out. For 6 days, God was in what you could call creation mode, just a total storm of activity, making stuff, changing things, building the universe. But that's not God's normal state. God's default setting is just peaceful, calm existence. So on the 7th day, God wasn't taking a break from something. God is actually returning to that natural, peaceful state of just being.
And this is where it connects to us. The whole point of the Sabbath, or Shabbos, which is the Hebrew word for it, is that it's like a 24-hour cheat code for us humans. It's this chance, once a week, to get out of the insane race of doing, achieving, and constantly trying to be better, and just exist. To just be.
Okay, that's a nice idea, but how does any of this actually help you deal with the stress of finals, or your social life, or just everything? Let's talk about that. Because let's face it,
You're in creation mode basically 24/7. You are always trying to build something. You're grinding to get a better grade. You're trying to build the perfect Instagram profile. You're stressing about friendships. You're trying to level up in a game or build a resume for college. It's this constant state of producing, improving, fixing. And honestly, it's exhausting.
And this is the real mind-blowing part. This kind of rest isn't laziness. It's not giving up. It's actually a total power move. It's the choice to just stop, to look at all the chaos and say, you know what? For right now, what I have is enough. Who I am is enough. It's saying for one day, I am not a project that needs to be fixed or improved. You can just exist.
And that right there is the whole point. We live in a world that is just screaming at you constantly to do more, be more, achieve more. And this ancient idea of rest is like this radical act of rebellion. It's the chance to put all that pressure down. Not because your goals aren't important, but because your value, your actual worth as a human being, has absolutely nothing to do with what you produce. It's not about your grades or your follower count or your accomplishments. You matter just because you're you. That's it.